like a little dent on it, and that dot is always going to go up. You see there, you see that little dot on the ring. That little dot is always going to point up. Um, Now, another important part too is that the dot is going to be pointed up, but on the inside of that ring, the top one, the bevel is there should be a bevel at the top edge of it. It's kind of hard to see on the video camera, but just try to keep that in mind. The top ring will have a slight indent on the top inside of the ring, and the middle ring will have an indent on the bottom of the ring when the dot is facing up. See if you can see that. It's kind of hard. Yeah, the video is not going to pick that up. I found a good picture and I'll try to upload that to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so now I got most of the piston rings installed. If you notice, some of the piston rings, they look really big when they sit on the pistons, like they really overlap it. You may think that it's too big or you didn't get the right one, but it's actually supposed to be like that. When you compress it later to put it in the block, they'll compress pretty well. One thing I wanted to point out is that when you're setting up your piston rings, there will be a gap in the ring, and you want to set these gaps opposites. So you have the top ring facing one way, and then you want your bottom ring facing 180 degrees in the opposite way. So like I have my piston gap here, and the other one needs to be on the exact opposite side. You want to try to keep those on opposite ends, so that way it'll help prevent losing some of your compression. So now we're pretty much ready to go ahead and start connecting our pistons to the crankshaft. So there's going to be two things. Well, maybe more than two things. The most important thing is that you want to keep your pistons in order. Remember when I showed you how to line them up, 1 through 6, you want to remember to follow that. If you use new pistons, then it's not going to matter. They're going to be good to go for whichever. Now, another thing, your gaps, keep in mind your gaps. Make sure you have those opposite of each other. And sometimes your connecting rods will have bolts that go through them. This one doesn't, but if you do, you want to put like some kind of cover over it, like tape or like an old hose or something over them to kind of protect your cylinder walls. It's possible that you could accidentally scratch your walls, and you just don't want that. So, in case you were wondering how these are cracked, this is what they look like. So if you notice, they're not exactly straight like a machine did it. These are actually cracked. They're hit in some way to make them crack and break. We'll also put new bearings in the rods as well. These ones are smooth. These ones don't actually have a tang. There's not a tang on there like there is for the main journals. So you're basically just going to have to do your best to make sure you get them right in the center and get them flush. Of course, we're going to use assembly lube on all the bearings after we get them set up, and we'll go from there. So now is pretty much your last chance that you're going to have to get your cylinders clean in your crankshaft. Basically, put piston 1, put it in there, clean out your cylinder. Well, clean out your cylinder first, then put it in there, and you'll line it up to the first slot on the crankshaft.